plan, but I think it's a great idea to just like podcast with people, keep the content going. I think this is a true test of how creative you are.
Yeah.
Like, if you can keep making content right now, it's like a huge test because I've noticed a lot of people on Instagram, like influencers that are kind of just like lifestyle or just like post selfies. Like, there's nothing coming out of a lot of people right now.
Finally get started because a lot of people are saying they never have enough time or they always make that
Yes,
excuse.
we've got best case scenarios as far as like we're healthy. Like, our biggest problem right now is that we're bored, right? And it's like
Yeah.
not a bad thing. Um, there's like plenty of good uses of your time and plenty of good things that can come out of this. And one of those things is like, well, if you want to go into content creation, like, this is like the best time to do it, man. No one cares. Like, there's so much stuff online. No one cares about what you're posting. People just need stuff to engage with. So it's like,
Exactly.
start the podcast, start the YouTube video, like YouTube channel, whatever it is. Like, it's the best time to do it.
When did you start your channel and all that?
So yeah, so I started a brand called the Beat Stop. It's about 2 years old, and the idea is I knew I wanted to start creating content, like music festival content, but I didn't want it to be a personal brand. So I didn't want it to be like just, Angel Chavez, and that's like the brand of the YouTube channel. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do something different. Like, I wanted it to be a brand that could like surpass me, take on other contributors and things like that. So I started that a couple years ago. Um, what makes us different is we're completely video oriented. So, we don't have like a website. We don't post articles or anything like that. Like, it's just original video content. And then I think I'm an event manager professionally.
Yeah.
So I work with the Sun God Festival team. I was telling you the other day, that's one of the biggest college festivals in the U.S. So at its peak, it's had like 3 stages. We've had Khalid, Kendrick Lamar, Diplo, like some pretty dope acts, dude. Like,
That's sick.
like
That's pretty
we
sick.
close roads. Like on this day, nothing happens except this music festival on campus.
Where do you have that event at?
It's at UC San Diego.
Oh, you San Diego. Okay.
Yeah, UC San Diego. So we have 13,000 people attend. It's all students. So it's like
Wow.
13 out of 30,000 undergrads. So it's like just under 1 out of every 2 people
That's cool.
going to this thing. It's pretty dope. It's a really cool gig, man, because I'm involved with everything. So the talent booking, the security, the marketing, the sponsorship. So kind of my twist on video content is like I feel like I've got good insight on the industry because like I've worked it. Like,
Hmm.
I know a good point of view of a lot of these things, and it allows me to just give a little bit deeper insight as far as music festival stuff. So I don't do like festival fashion or anything like that. I like to do things like festival sponsorship
Yeah, I
and
mean, it's
things
stuff
like
that you're already doing since you're already working behind the scenes. You know the industry stuff, and you're making videos related to that. So, um, I don't know where I saw it described. Maybe it was in the Facebook group that Vibe with Aid created, and then
yeah.
about you wanted to make kind of like the Vice, but of music festivals or like
Yeah,
music.
man. I mean, that was the idea when I started. So, like, this is like 2018. And at the time, Vice and BuzzFeed and Tasty, and there's like channels and platforms for anything experiential, right? Like,
Yeah.
you've seen videos on like crazy hotel rooms and crazy travel destinations and like crazy buildings and like all sorts of things that you just didn't know existed until the internet like became really, really mature and started putting this stuff out. And I realized I was like, there's no real content like that for music festivals. Um, I like to think that my content is geared towards like more like casual festival goers. Like, you probably heard of a lot of this stuff, but it
Yeah.
might be too intimidating to go, or you just don't really know where to start. That's why a lot of the content I put out, it's like we started off with lists. It's like 5 festivals you need to know about, like really easily digestible stuff. Um, but yeah, so that was the idea. Like, I wanted to create a brand where it was like the premier digital brand for festival content. If this were, I want to be an event manager full time. Like, I want to go into festival production.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to be a full time YouTuber. Like, it's really fun for me, and I'm a natural marketer and promoter. So it's just a lot. It's a very very fun hobby that also helps my professional life. But if I were like going like balls deep, full in, and I wanted to like blow this up, that would be what the vision is, like to be the premier video based like
Yeah,
customer
you
type
could
of
do both. That sounds like you have a pretty
thing.
good plan, and I like that you're focused. You're using your work, and then you're making the channel as a side. You know, like you're not trying to just go all in on your YouTube and get frustrated or do this because you know that you already have a vision on something else, and this is
Yeah,
just kind of
exactly.
like an extension of you. I like the idea of like trying to make content for a lot of people because most people that go to festivals I feel like they're new to festivals. You know, there's like a certain
Yeah,
crowd that goes to a lot of festivals, but most
yeah.
people is their first time, and it could be really intimidating.
Yeah, man, and there's tons of great publications, and if you are like really into the rave scene, or you're going to festivals for a long time, you know you're probably following all sorts of publications, and you're getting your information that way. To me, video is like it can be really passive. Like you'll watch a video on accident because you're just scrolling on your Instagram and you just saw something and you just got drawn in for the first 5 seconds and you learn something, right? But
Yeah.
you won't like accidentally read an article. Like that's so much work to just like accidentally read an article. You know what I mean? So I think the medium lends itself to people that are like curious but just might not know where to start.
Hmm.
So it's like short, lighthearted, but still informative. So it's been a lot of fun. But I like what you said. Like I would love to think that I can do both.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that's kind of that's the plan, and it is an extension of me. It's opened like a surprising amount of doors in like 2 very short years. Um, so it's been good, and it's like a new passion almost. It's like I've always been
Yeah.
passionate about music, and I learned how to video edit for the channel. Like
Oh, you had no
like
experience before?
I had no experience, so I've worked with tons of video editors, but basically, probably like a year in, my guy like took a job in
Yeah.
Hawaii. I wasn't paying him or anything, so he took a job in Hawaii, and then I just had a queue of videos, and I was like, man, like I can't just keep sending you videos, and it just takes forever. Like you're moving, and it's taking forever to just to turn this stuff around. So I just learned, dude. Like I'm a firm believer you can learn anything these days if you just sit down and
What kind of software do you use to edit?
I use Premiere.
Premiere? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, not to toot my horn, I feel like I've gotten pretty good. Like I've gotten at least fast. I've been able to
Hmm.
turn videos around overnight.
Yeah.
Like, if something happens and I'm like, shoot, like I should definitely put something out on this tonight. If it's like a reaction to something, you know,
Yeah.
I've been able to like outline it, edit it, turn it around overnight. So before it, you know, it's a long, grueling process. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, right? Video editing is
Yeah.
like
It's
so time consuming.
yeah. There's times when it's exciting if it's a project that you're passionate about. Because I also do videos on the side. So besides YouTube, I do videos for like clients or
Right
videos for
on,
people.
cool.
So it's fun when it's like a project that you're excited about, you know, like, oh, you're putting it together. There's times too where like you might like find it daunting to like, oh man, I gotta put everything together, the audio, this.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
by the time you're done or when you're like 80% done, like you start getting excited though. Like you're like, oh man, this is actually coming
totally.
pretty good. Or
Yeah,
it looks better than what you expected when you first started. So I like
yeah,
that.
exactly, exactly. And then, you know, the opposite feeling of that is the many mistakes I've made rendering something only to find like a small, stupid mistake. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Gotta go back in, just fix the little, like maybe
Yeah.
something like ran over the timestamp and you just have like a picture of a logo that's like 5 seconds later or something.
Yeah,
Because
you got the files on your computers like final 1, final
yeah,
1.2.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
Final,
happens all the
final,
time.
for real. That's so funny, dude. I dig the hat, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. It's Robin.
I'm a huge comic book fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I,
I didn't know if you wanted to keep this like completely festival.
no, it's cool.
Yeah,
I like on my conversations. It's just whenever like we could start
yeah.
off with music festivals, and we could go on. After, are you more of a Marvel or a DC guy?
Huge Marvel fan, man.
Huge Marvel
Huge
fan.
Marvel fan. Yeah. What about you, DC?
I like DC better.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I like Marvel better, but I like both. You know what I mean? It's like
No, I like both
there's
too.
any
I'm
better.
not.
Like I love both. I hated that the DC universe just like I wanted the DC cinematic universe to succeed so bad.
Yeah,
I would love to learn about these characters and have like a second superhero film universe would have been so cool. But we all know how that went.
Yeah, they're still trying to find a way to reboot it to make it work, and then the last, the fabulous whatever of Harley Quinn, that
Yeah,
failed. Like it tanked
it
at the
wasn't
box
that
office.
good. Did you watch it?
I watched it. I thought it was alright. I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it as much as other people hated it.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, this is okay, but did we even need this movie? That's like literally what I
Yeah.
thought. I was like, I don't care about any of these characters. Even the action was like kind of, yeah. So it's kind of a shame because I feel like there are some huge strong points for the DCEU, and I feel like eventually they're just going to reboot it. I mean, I don't know if they can save a shared universe at this point, but like Wonder Woman casting, Jason Momoa, The Flash, I thought those are all great casts, and Shazam
Yeah.
was freaking awesome.
Oh, Shazam was really good. Yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude, if we took like, I would love a Justice League sequel. Like Shazam would be great comic relief in that. It would have been a dope film. Unpopular opinion, I like Batman. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I know that's like,
Yeah. Ben Affleck was cool.
yeah,
I
I
like
thought it
him.
was actually a strong point.
Yeah. The problem was just too much on the Batman v Superman movie. Like the director's cut is a little better than the theatrical, but it was just too much. Like you could have ended the fight between them two, and then the whole Doom like sequence was just, you killed off the storyline, and it was just way too much at once. You know, like you
Yeah,
introduce Wonder Woman, you introduce Batman
yeah,
to Superman, and you introduce like all this. Then you have like the teaser for like the Flash and the teaser for
yeah,
Aquaman. It was just way too much at this at one movie.
yeah. I think if they stayed the course, like, Batman versus Superman, they had this monumental task of like accelerating everything. And it's
Yeah.
like they wanted to introduce everyone. I was like, okay, it's not the best thing, but I get it. In 5 years, when everyone gets their solo film, then
Mhm.
it'll be okay, right? So I feel like if they stayed the course, it would have been okay, but they didn't. So now we're just left with this like
Yeah, and then
crappy
Justice
Donnie
League.
Darko
Justice League was the worst movie I've ever seen, bro. That
I
was so
know, dude.
trash.
It's such a shame because, like, again, I feel like there were so many things they did right. Like, I thought the cast had some chemistry, man, but it's like the most generic villain ever. Like, nothing different about this guy. I don't like that Cyborg was completely CGI'd. He looked funny to
Yeah,
me. Yeah.
and you didn't care about him. Like you didn't care about his character at all. Like he was always just, I guess it's Cyborg. And the Flash is cool. He had some good comedy relief moments, and
Yeah.
the Aquaman movie was pretty good too. I like that one. The
I think
solo
so
film.
too, man. On that note, I don't know if you heard, but I'm pretty sure Black Panther 2 is going to introduce Namor the Submariner. It's like
Oh,
Aquaman.
I heard the rumors. Yeah,
So they're going to do Atlantis, but Marvel's version. And I'm so stoked about it because, like, Marvel just knocks it out of the park every time. So to see, like, Marvel's iteration of Atlantis, I was like, oh my God. That's going to
yeah.
be freaking
I mean,
dope.
everything kind of got put on hold because of the time we're
I
in. So
know. Yeah.
yeah, everything from the production of, like, I don't know what's gonna happen with Wonder Woman 1984. It's supposed to come out, I think, in June.
June.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if it's gonna get pushed back because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the movie theater is gonna be open by then. So
Same with Black Widow. Black Widow is supposed to be out in like 3 weeks.
oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that now it just doesn't have a release date, which is a shame because it looked really cool. And I'm
And
like, damn, this
how,
virus is taking everything away from us.
so how's your production company dealing with everything that's been happening, all these cancellations of all these festivals, and how has it affected
Yeah.
you guys
So are you referring to like my content gig or like me as an event manager?
as an event manager? I'm sorry.
Event manager, yeah. So it's been really interesting. First and foremost, I'm just happy to have a job, dude. Like
Yeah.
I have miraculously been unaffected so far. I'm really, really grateful for it because I've got tons of colleagues that can't say the same, and I've heard of tons of layoffs. So as far as my work, let's see. So the Sun God Festival, the 2020 edition would have been 2 Saturdays from now. So it would have been on April 25th. And I keep thinking, man, what would we be doing at this point right now? It's like 11 days out. We would be rocking and rolling, dude. Like we would be on the field, marking things out, like according to the diagram and things like that. Like wrapping up sponsorship and talent. But now it's like, we're doing what everyone that's still in business is doing. We're moving everything virtual. So
Yeah.
Sun God Festival just isn't, it's not happening. There's not even a virtual version of it. Um, I just don't think we had the capacity to reimagine such a valued campus tradition in
Yeah.
4 weeks. It's just so much, and I think the campus would rather hold on to the money than kind of go all out on something that we just don't know how to do.
When it comes to the production of a music festival like that, so do you guys use the money from the sponsors to pay for the headliners and all the
Yeah,
production, or how does that
so
work?
this is like the higher ed part of my job. So my job's interesting because I am an event manager and my role is completely event centric. Like that's my
Hmm.
job is to plan events. It's just interesting because it's on a college campus. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of little like political, educational nuances that other event colleagues just won't really understand. But the festival is funded from student activity fees. So as part of their tuition, they pay a certain amount and it's pooled together to do things such as the Sun God Festival. So
Okay.
that being said, Sun God is free. Like if you paid your tuition, you already paid for the festival. Like you're able to go. So Sun God is like an extreme of what this pays for. It pays for free.
Yeah.
Like it goes into like AS, like Associated Students, and they will plan film screenings, concerts, all sorts of stuff. And most of that stuff is free because it probably was funded by the student activity fee. So yeah, so that's the source of the funding for the festival, and then we do bring on sponsors every year. It's a good amount, I'd say. We'll pull anywhere from like $40,000 to $60,000 in sponsorship revenue, which is pretty substantial, I think,
Yeah.
for a college event. So we've had brands like Rockstar, Uber Eats, Amazon. I mean, every year it's like a dozen
Yeah.
and a half different brands. And I've seen it grow. I've been here for 5 years, and I've seen more and more brands double down on event marketing. Like it wasn't always like that. Now we're getting hit up by like cosmetics, like sunblock, like everyone is just putting money into event marketing. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
a good time, like pre-coronavirus. Really good time for all this stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Um,
interesting to see how we transition back to that. I don't know if it's gonna be the same. I know it's gonna be a new normal. And then speaking of festivals, like this past weekend was supposed to be Coachella weekend one, so that's like one of the
yeah.
biggest events in the world, basically. So that one, as of now, is getting postponed to October. But I don't know. I've been seeing headlines and people posting articles. I don't think it's gonna happen. So I don't know. What do you
Yeah,
think
man,
about
I actually I wanted to get I had some questions for you. Because your channel is completely Coachella centric, right? That's like most of the content.
Yeah, so I just decided to double or triple down or quadruple down on it. So I actually live like 5 minutes, 10 minutes from the festival, the Empire Polo Ground.
Okay.
So it's literally
Wow.
down the street. So
Perfect.
so I've been going for a long time because it's in my hometown. So I never have to worry about traveling, finding a place to stay. Like the tickets are expensive, but I'm able to just save up and then just buy. So I made my first Coachella video was like 2011, and I never thought about making YouTube videos. Like I uploaded my very first YouTube video in 2007
Okay.
when I was in high school, like my freshman year in high school. I had to make like a little football project for like the local high school football team, and then
Yeah.
I uploaded it to YouTube. I mean, back then YouTube was like maybe 1 or 2 years old, so no one knew what it
It was a
was.
baby. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a
so
baby.
I uploaded up like maybe 5 or 10 videos over like 5 year period, and
Yeah.
then like 2015, I was like, I'm gonna start making YouTube videos, and I didn't even know where to take this. Like I'm just gonna start making content. I don't know where I was gonna take me, so I started with book reviews. I started doing book
Okay.
random. I know.
Yeah.
I was since I work at a town of law, so I'm always on the car. 2 hours commuting, Southern California, the traffic's crazy, So
Okay. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I got tired of music and stuff else. I found Audible and podcasts, so I started listening to a lot of books. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a review on every book that I listen to, and then from there, I made a Coachella maybe 2015 or 2016, like my reaction to the lineup or something.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I got decent views. And then like a year later, I made another Coachella video, and then that one got me like 10,000 views. I was like, oh
Wow.
damn! And
Yeah.
all the research that I was doing with like YouTube channels is like double down on what's your number one channel, your number one
Wow.
video. I mean, so
Yeah.
when you would look up Coachella content, it's nothing but big YouTubers or social media people. They come, they do their vlog or get ready to go to Coachella, whatever. They get all the views, they leave, and that's it. Like there's there wasn't a lot of videos about tips and like guides and everything, like like the behind the scenes. So I was like, I'm here, might as well start making some content that's helping people, like bringing people value. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make some like tips on how to do this, tips on how to do that, my experience with this, first reaction, the rumors. No one's making videos like this. Like when I first started, no one was making like potential headliners for Coachella or the latest rumors. No one's making these videos. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And then I just became like the Coachella channel, I guess. So
that's crazy, man. Yeah, it's really impressive what you've done. Like I like my channel is like a baby compared to, you mentioned that group that we're in with like 5 with 8 and Emma. And I'm like,
yeah,
they're really idols there, because my stuff's just a baby. But it just takes so much time, and that's what I've learned about content creation over the past couple of years is like a single piece of content is not going to make or break. Like you got to make dozens.
Oh yeah, you gotta make a ton.
Yeah. So I'm just like keeping my head down, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and just keep doing it. Because I know, like, short of something just going completely viral out of nowhere, I'm just like in the thick of it right now. I just got to keep going.
Yeah, and for me, like, there's a lot of times too when you put in a lot of effort to a video. I know you like the production of a video. Sometimes it's hours. Like you gotta do research, you edit, you shoot it. Then you got to do post and share it and all this and the thumbnail and the tags and then you'll get like 20 or 30 views and you're like, damn, I just spent like 5 hours on that video. But
at least 5 hours.
But I think it's part of the progress in the process. I mean, it's I just put out a video and I know that the next video that I put out, it might drive views to the next video. So then I put out another video, then I put out another video, and I just got this mindset, just start pumping content, and eventually, like, if you make, I guess what's been working for me is making, because I make other videos besides Coachella. I make videos locally, like local events here, little festivals that we hear downtown. Like, also, no one's making those videos, so I'm the only person in the whole like area that's making like local little festival videos that they have like a food event, there's food trucks, or they have like the city of Coachella does these like mariachi festival where they bring like mariachis to come play and the community could come out and do this. And like I'm documenting all this, making a little like festival like video for them. So I'm kind of like combining all that. So for now, that's what I'm doing. But I don't know where it's going to take me in 5 years. I started 5 years ago. I was making book reviews. So I always tell myself I'm doing the Coachella stuff now, but I'm also open to like changing as time moves forward, like.
Yeah. Is this something that you would want to do full time, or is this just an extension of you, like for bigger things that you want to do?
Well, I definitely want to get more into like video production of like either documentaries or movies, something like that. Okay. But for now, like I'm also looking at it long term because I'm barely getting my feet in the water. I'm not gonna go to film school and spend like $20,000. Like.
No, dude. I think people like us, like if we just started and we created and we learned by doing it, it's like, why go to film school, man? Like, look how much you accomplished by just like doing it, making mistakes.
Yeah.
Observing, you know what I mean?
And then you're building community and opportunities, because I know I have some subscribers and stuff, but the opportunities come, like you said, you make videos and the opportunities come like in real life. You get to like meet certain people, and I'm pretty sure you have some experiences like that where thanks to making videos, it leads to opportunities.
Yeah, I'd say it was definitely a milestone for me. So I'd say, actually, it was this time last year. So crazy. I remember because I took this call while loading in the Sun God Festival. Like I was at the venue. But there's a brand called X Live, and they throw conferences for event professionals. So they have their flagship annual conference in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-day conference. There are speakers and attendees from all corners of the event industry. So it's like people like Live Nation, Insomniac, the Olympics, the Sundance Film Festival, like food and beverage, event technology. It's like freaking, it's like Candyland for me as far as networking.
What's that event called?
X Live.
X Live. Wow,
yeah, so it's cool. Just called the X Live Annual Conference. And then in recent years, they expanded to having smaller conferences like in LA. So they have like esports summit. Like they had, I went to a data and analytics summit like a few years ago before I got involved with them. But a year ago, I put out a video on festival sponsorships. I don't know if you remember, but at Ultra, KFC sponsored the main stage with their DJ Colonel Sanders like character. Did you catch any of that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so basically, it's actually kind of ridiculous. You should check it out after this. But at Ultra, not this past one, but a year ago,
Yeah,
during a 5 minute changeover, KFC paid to have a dude with like a Colonel Sanders helmet. It's like a marshmallow style helmet, but it's Colonel Sanders
yeah,
to do a 5 minute set. Like that was fried chicken themed. It was like a super corporate sellout move, and people were like hella confused, dude. Like during the drop, like nobody's getting down. People just like staring at this thing, and they're like, "Is this real? Like, what is this? Is this like DJ KFC?" So I did a video on why that was a bad sponsored decision, basically, and I just broke it down as to why that was like intrusive, like why it didn't land. And then somebody from X Live, actually, naturally, I put that on LinkedIn because it's like that's more
yeah,
business. Someone from X Live like messaged me and they said, "Hey, we're with the partnerships team with X Live. We'd love to talk to you about collaborating." Long story short, that led to me being like their only video contributor for their site. So I would give them videos on like festival news, but it was a lot more business like and planning oriented. So it wasn't
yeah,
like lineup reviews or anything. It was like updates with event technology and things like that. And then I did that for about 8 months, and they invited me to the conference for free. And they wanted me to interview people as part of their YouTube channel. So I'm like just going to this thing for free. And keep in mind, this is like a $1,000 ticket. It's an expensive
yeah.
conference. So they invited me over. They helped me out a little bit with the lodging and things like that. So I was at the MGM Grand for 4 days, interviewing like people I look up to, man. Like people like that I look up to, and now I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there interviewing them as peers. It's really validating. It's like, damn, man. Like a
That's
year ago, I
awesome.
was just like filming stuff in my garage. Now I'm here in Vegas because of like a piece of content. So I had the opportunity to interview Stephanie Rosa. She's the founder of Festival Squad. That's a
Yeah.
pretty big publication. Are you familiar with Elro? It's like a Spanish. It's not a festival brand. It's like a party brand. It's more like brownies and lemonade almost, but they're from
Uh,
Spain.
no, no, I'm not.
So so it's like you should. I'll send you some stuff after, but it's like it's a Spanish party brand. They recently broke into the U.S. market. So they're known for like think of like a rave meets Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah,
So it's like circus performers and costumes and props and tons of confetti. But I interviewed like the president at the X5 conference. It was dope, man. So it was like that is probably the best example of the doors that this has opened for me. Because if I
that's
didn't make
cool.
that video and post on LinkedIn, like that, none of that would have happened, guaranteed.
Well, when is the what dates was the X Live? Like, is the X Live stuff supposed to happen this year?
Yeah, it was like 2019. It was like mid-November, like November 13th through 17th or something.
Yeah,
Last I heard, there was going to be an S Live 2020 slated for late October, but who knows, dude?
yeah,
Honestly,
we're not the moment. What do you think is
yeah.
gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen by the end of the year?
Jeez, I have what I think is going to happen, and I have what I want is going to happen. What I want to happen is I want everyone to stay inside, and I want to open back up in June. That's what I want. What I really think is going to happen is I think we're like this till August, dude. I think this is what summer 2020 is going to look like for us. And if that's true, I don't think events between September and December have enough time to plan. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm thinking about Coachella taking place in October. Like, say that does happen, right? Like, what does that mean for 2021? Like, you only
exactly.
have 6 months to plan the next one. Like, are you just going to stay in October so you get the full year, or are you going to start planning 21 now while
Yeah,
your team is planning 2020? It's really crazy, man. Because like, if you don't, if you're not familiar with the industry, you need a year to plan something like that. You can't do that in 6 months. It's very very difficult. So even, if we're in quarantine until June, July, or August, like, that barely leaves time to plan anything big, you know? So
How do you think that affect, for example, Coachella, since it was already supposed to happen last weekend, so they already kind of
yeah,
had everything planned out. Now
yeah,
they just had to move the date. So I know it's gonna be hard because the lineup's gonna, if it happens, I don't think it's gonna happen in my opinion. Like
yeah,
I'm not gonna make a video about this. I've been doing research, just what health experts are saying, and like no one's talking about festivals because it's like at the lowest end of the priority list. It's
yeah,
first, it's gonna, they're gonna start opening, as far as I've read. I mean, I'm not an expert or nothing, but they said they're gonna start opening up businesses. So like the
hmm,
first people that are gonna be like out of quarantine is gonna be office spaces, people that, I mean, we need to run the economy back up. So it's gonna be um,
hmm,
offices, businesses, then restaurants, all that stuff happening first. They're even talking about doing like sports and live events, but with
yeah,
no general public in attendance. So NBA games with no fans, basically, like things that make a
right,
lot of money, but they trying to minimize the risks. So
hmm,
when you have sporting events with no fans, I cannot imagine a music festival when there's 100,000 people all like this. It's just
yeah.
way too soon for that. And even like you said, if we get through it to August, by October, I think there's still going to be a lot of health concerns. So
Totally, man. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, music festivals, it's pure leisure, right? Like that's the
yeah,
lowest of what is essential to society. It's like at the very, very bottom. And it's arguably the highest risk because you're talking about people
yeah,
6 digits, like an absurd amount of people getting together for something that's not essential. So I agree. Like I think that is going to be the last thing to come back. As far as the long lasting effects, it's going to be devastating, man. So like, even a lot of small businesses won't make it through this.
yeah,
Like, there's just no money coming in. So a lot of these businesses that are small, that say you are just like an AV production, and a lot of your revenue comes from Coachella. Like, say, like let's take Dulab for example. Dulab's a great example. Like I have to imagine tons of their business is because of is Coachella. Like it's got to be
yeah,
a huge thing for them. So like, what about them? Like, can they hold off for 6 months without that money coming in? Like, I don't know if Golden Voice is paying them. And then on the consumer end, it's not like people will just like have the money to drop like 1 or 2 grand on the Airbnb, the travel. Like
yeah,
coming out of this, like a lot of people are hurting, man. Like there's people are out of work, a lot of people don't have money. We're getting this like very like this small stimulus check that for remote. I'm just like, dude, $1,200. Like, living in California, I'm like, what is 12? That's nothing, man. That's
it's
like,
1,200 bucks that they, I mean, they passed this, what, like three weeks ago.
yeah,
We're barely getting it now. Then like, in what's gonna happen in a month, we're gonna need another one, and by the time that one comes, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people haven't paid their rent. Like, they don't got
yeah,
money for this. Like, it's a
yeah.
lot of people are really struggling. So
It's tough,
I don't
man.
know.
So it's like, say again, to take place in October. It's not like people like will just have all that money. And then on top of that, like we have a lot of festivals being rescheduled to like this 8 week window. From like the beginning of September through October, it's like EDC, Coachella, Lost Lands, Bonnaroo, and that really messes with the ecosystem of things because it's like people are gonna have to choose.
Yeah,
So that means no event really wins. So no event makes as much money as they used to because you just can't be in two places at once. So
yeah,
like this year, like you said, we're gonna have a new normal after 2020, but I don't think that resumes this year. I think the new normal starts next year because I think this year's completely like it's such in shock. It's gonna take a long time for it to normalize, and that's assuming we like find a vaccine soon and things return to normal like by the end of
yeah.
the
Yeah, exactly. It's not enough money. Even if you're a fan of all these festivals, there's not enough time because most people can't take that much time off work, first of all.
year. Totally.
And you're not gonna want to take time off work when you didn't work like half the year. Like, oh, I'm trying
Yeah,
to put in as many hours, not don't call out sick. And
that's a
even
terrible decision.
yeah, and
Take
if you have a if you have a little bit of money like saved up, or you're gonna be scared of like losing your job or going into a quarantine again. That you're gonna be like, maybe I should put like maybe some emergency money or emergency funds to the side. Maybe I'm just gonna hold off this year and then we'll see what happens next year. So I just don't think it's enough time, like you said. Maybe smaller local festivals, but anything major like EDC or Coachella that takes people from all over the world,
Yeah.
it's just not gonna happen. I don't it's not
Too
possible.
much money, and yeah, man, it's like this virus is turning us all into adults because it's like for the first time, I'm like, man, do I have enough saved? Hey, do I have enough money saved up? Like, should I have more money in my bank account?
Dude,
But
I feel the
a lot
same
of
way.
people there, you know what I mean? It's like, shoot, I feel like the economy has been so prosperous. It's like we've felt invincible for a while. You know what I mean? Life is good.
Yeah.
We're going to festivals. We're traveling. Like it's fun. It's hella fun. Now it's like, dang, I really wish I prepared for this
Oh yeah, I don't think nobody
happen.
was.
You know
I
what I mean?
mean, no one was ready for this to happen. Like
Totally.
how fast it happened. I mean, everything was fine, and then like a month and a half later, everything shut down. Everyone's home, and man, it's just uncertainty that I don't know what's gonna happen the next 2 3 weeks. Like they're talking about having festivals till fall 2021. That's what some health
That breaks
experts
my
are saying.
heart, man. That makes
Fall
me very sad.
2021. Like you're talking about 18
Yeah.
months from now. Like
I'm
18
about to start
months.
reviewing books on my YouTube channel, bro. If it takes that long, I'm gonna start reviewing books.
Hey, and you gotta do some self-help books, trying to get
Seriously.
philosophical. You're gonna turn into a philosophy channel.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a full blown extrovert, but this quarantine has made me. It's like forced me to be introspective and like just force my energy inward. I live with roommates, thank God. So I've got like there's 3 other people in this household. So it's like every weekend we'll drink. It's like 3 of my like really good friends.
Yeah. Are you
Um,
staying in San Diego or where do you stay at?
I'm in San Diego, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So living in a house, thankfully I'm with roommates, but it's just like I'm usually out and about. Like I'll go to work, I'll go to the gym, hit up a happy hour. Like I'm like super active. So for all that to just change, I'm not gonna lie. The first 2 weeks of the working from home, it was rough for me, dude. Like I couldn't find the balance. Like I just like I'm working where I sleep, and now I'm filming where like everything is thrown off. Like I had a system for everything, and it was all thrown off. So it took a couple weeks for me to adjust. But it forces you to look at yourself. It's like,
Yeah.
like how creative can you be? Like how resourceful can you be? How like how tough are you really when you have to deal with this thing and there's like no other
Yeah.
choice. You know what I
Like
mean?
you have to adjust to it, and yeah, it's just the first week. I remember the first week that everything was happening. It was just so weird. Like I was still going to work, and you hear like this is getting canceled, and they're postponing this, and their
Yeah.
travel ban here, and this festival at South by Southwest just got canceled. What does this mean for EDC? What does this mean for Coachella? And then like it was just crazy. Then the government saying schools are canceled, and it was just like every day it was
It's been like
just
10 days,
boom,
dude.
boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. It was just negative news. That it was just,
Yeah.
and there was like a feeling in the air, just like eerie. Like it just, I don't know. It was
Yeah.
hard to describe.
It doesn't feel real. So let's like flip this, man, because like I'm sure people want to hear a positive spin on this. One thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is imagine that first day back, like that first Friday night out with your friends, like how good that's gonna feel. Like I've been thinking about that a lot. I was like, damn, there's like so many people I miss. Like imagine how happy everyone's gonna be.
Yeah,
Everyone's just gonna be on a high. Like, hey, let's all go out. Like let's like hugs and drinks. I got this round. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna be so freaking happy that I'm like
yeah.
really really excited for that first weekend. And on that same note, I really hope the government reopens on a Friday. They better not open on a Monday, dude. That'd be so freaking whack. They open on a Monday. Every like first day back, go back to work. They better.
Yeah, well, they're gonna do something like that for the economy. They're probably make an announcement like on Friday or Saturday for the next week. Like
Yeah,
next week it's open to business, but I think it's gonna be more of a gradual effect though. Like this week, only certain offices half of the people have to work from home, and only a certain amount of people could go to the office, and
yeah,
restaurants too, maybe half capacity, which is gonna still hurt the restaurant business. It's already hurt them now, but the local businesses like um, it's just a struggle for them. little
It is,
restaurants,
man.
mom and pop
Yeah.
shops.
Yeah, seriously, it's devastating. So, like I said, I'm just really grateful that I'm I'm just like on the more fortunate end of how people are being affected.
Yeah. So what I do construction. We do tile, granite tile showers. That's like my main job. So we're still working.
Wow.
We're
Oh,
still
no
working.
way.
Yeah, they haven't stopped us at all. So we haven't worked in people's houses like remodeling. I've had some clients cancel on us, but we
Yeah.
do, we do a lot of new construction, and that hasn't stopped with like new buildings and stuff. That's still people are still working. They just have us do like um you it's mandatory to wear something to cover your face, and then try to stay 6 feet apart, wash your hands. You know the
Yeah.
basic stuff, but
Yeah. Yeah.
um so far it's slowed down for sure though. Like there's times I'm done by like 10 in the morning and I'm just at home like, oh man, let me watch another show on Netflix. It's
Yeah, seriously. Like,
getting
oh,
tiring.
what's it gonna be today? Sweatpants or gym shorts?
And
Yeah, it's been interesting.
yeah, like we can't even hang out with our friends. Like you said, it's just where everybody's kind of slowly losing their minds. But I what I've noticed is a lot of celebrities are taking advantage of this, and they're kind of sucking up all the space when it comes to media and social media. Have you
Mm-hmm.
seen like some of those concerts or like those battles that these like hip hop artists are having, where they're
Oh
playing like
yeah,
their hits back and forth, and they're
yeah,
getting
yeah,
like 900,000 streams? Like it's crazy.
yeah, man. One of the highest moments for during quarantine so far was the Digital Mirage Festival. Did you tune into that?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a brownies and lemonade event. They did a 3 day festival. They
they
raised,
raised like a bunch of money, right?
yeah, man. They set out to raise 100K. They did that in the first day, and by the end of the weekend, they had 300,000. So they like tripled.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like it made me really proud to be part of the festival community because it's like, damn, man, it's like it's a really troubling time, and for us to finally be able to do something together, and of all
Yeah.
the things we do together, it's raised 300 grand for people that really need it. It was very heartwarming.
Yeah, that might be something that we're gonna continue to see. Maybe more since
Hmm.
if they really do postpone stuff till next year, 2021, have a lot more digital festivals. Get give us a date, like hey, save this Friday or Saturday
Yeah,
for this. Talk to all your raver friends and
yeah,
hopefully make something up, because it's definitely gonna be hard to just look forward to anything, because
yeah.
there's nothing to look forward to.
Seriously, man. Oh god, that first festival back is gonna hit different, bro.
Oh, dude,
It's gonna be crazy. Imagine everyone's first festival back. Oh my god.
what was the last festival or concert that you went to before everything was
Oh,
shut down?
jeez. Think about this all the time. Last concert I saw Millennium here in San Diego. That was in December. January is a really busy month for me work wise, so I didn't do anything before all this stuff in 2020. So Millennium in December, and then I was working on the artist relations team at Wonderfront, which is a new festival in San Diego.
Yeah.
So their launch was in November. Pretty successful first year. Who was playing? I can't remember. It was some pretty solid acts. Like I don't know what kind of music do you listen to? I can't tell.
For me, I'm more into hip hop,
Okay.
rock,
Okay.
but
Got it. Yeah, so it was like Big Gigantic was playing, Blau was playing, Lil Dicky was there. It's a pretty solid event. So I was artist relations in November, and that was it. As far as the last thing I attended, dang man, it's been too long. I can't even remember.
the
I can't even remember. Oh, I hate myself right now.
the last one I attended was Rolling Loud in December. Ro-
Oh, dude,
Rolling
how
Loud
was
Los
that?
Angeles.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was pretty like the logistics of like how people move. It kind of sucked, like the way they had like the flow of the crowds,
Hmm.
but it was pretty cool. I liked it. They had, I
Yeah.
think, well, one, two, three different stages. One inside one, well, the Bank of California Stadium in downtown LA, and then in the parking lots, like they had it like around. It was pretty cool. But I mean, that's the last thing That's probably gonna be the last concert for the next year.
I know, man. If we only knew the things we took for granted.
Tame Impala was playing in, was it in San Diego or at the Forum? Like literally like one of the last concerts right before everything got banned.
Ever.
And
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I saw the tickets for that. I was like, man, I probably should go to this, but I never thought everything was gonna get canceled. So now I
I
regret
know,
not going.
dude. Isn't it crazy, man? It's like I feel like we're all gonna come out of this with new perspective.
Yeah,
Like,
what I think it's to look at it in a positive. I think it is good to have like a reset button, like you said earlier. You alluded to like how much money do we have in our savings for emergencies? Are we
yeah,
really like you gotta look at the things in a different perspective. It's gonna
totally.
culture shift for us for sure.
Absolutely, man. So I'm just like keeping my head down, making content, just praying for everyone else. And it's like, dude, let's get out of this because when we get back, I'm just gonna love the heck out of my friends and and never say no to anything that I'm invited to.
What kind of? I know a lot of people like whenever they would text, "Hey, you come to this." I don't feel like going. Like everyone's
Yeah,
gonna go now. Like
everyone's gonna go. Everyone's gonna go to stuff.
you take all this stuff for granted. But I was gonna ask you what content do you have coming up, or how are you managing content creation now that there's no music festivals or
Oh gosh, that is a great question, man. I mean, I to be honest, I don't really have a whole system in place. A lot of what I was doing for the past couple of months was like just reactionary to things that are happening. So I did like, when Coachella was postponed, I did a video of like the EDC next. The most recent thing I put out was it's like a shout out video for Brownies and Lemonade after Digital Mirage. I mean, I was just on a high on after that event. So on Monday, I just filmed basically like just tip my hats to them, talked about my favorite sets from the weekend. Um, I think during this time, I'm going to really lean into my event expertise and do stuff like, we talked about a lot of what I actually wanted to make a video out of, and that is like kind of the economic effects of all of this. Like,
Mhm.
even if things are back in October, like, can people afford to go? Like, what does that mean for the 2021 iterations of these festivals? Like, what does it mean that there's so much overlap? Like a good example is Bonnaroo and Lost Lands, right? Like those are in the
Yeah,
same region. Now they're on the same weekend. And it's like, dude, like now both people might lose money because now like nobody will win. It'll be like everyone gets half and that means nobody actually turns a profit. So talking about stuff like that is probably the direction I'm going to go into here because I feel like there's tons of room for assessment
yeah.
analysis. And let's face it, there's just like no lineup drops to react to or so, like I said, this is a time to really test your creativity. It's like, in like the darkest situations, can you still find your voice amidst all this stuff? And do you still have something to say about all of it? To be honest, stuff for me has been slow. It's been a transition as I work from home.
Yeah.
Um, but like I'm a lot better than I was when this all started. So now I'm just getting back into my groove. So what I'll do next is something probably in depth, some like in depth look at like the financial impact of everything. Because I'm like, that sounds so dense, but it also sounds extremely interesting.
So do you follow Gary Vee?
I love Gary Vee, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
he's the
him.
best.
Yeah,
He I was watching one of his recent interviews and he was saying because a lot of like the people are asking us like, oh, I'm trying to get brand deals, but brands are I'm paying money right now and this and that. He's like,
mm,
no, brands are not gonna pay money right now because everybody's kind of shut down. So he's saying you need to build your foundation now for the future. So like you said, talk about get into the corporate business of festivals behind the scenes from your experience. Maybe you could do some research on past festivals. Maybe you could do a video on like Woodstock and the logistics behind it, like how they got
yeah,
400,000 people there and like how maybe that
yeah,
started festival culture. Like you could do a lot of things kind of setting up for once festivals come back, then you have all these videos established like around the production and behind the scenes.
definitely.
I think that'd
Yeah,
be kind of cool.
and that's like honestly, if you're a content creator in the festival space, like that's the way you got to be thinking right now because like a lot of people were doing like they're doing makeup videos and outfit hauls, and it's like it's just not an option right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to adapt. So that's probably what the adaptation is going to look like for me. Those are all really good ideas, actually. So thank you. I might actually film something right after this. Honestly.
um, yeah, I've been trying to do daily videos, but it's hard, man, coming up with daily videos. I was trying to do kind of like just some interesting topics. I did it for like maybe 10 days. I was
Hmm.
like, I would just get some news that interests me. It doesn't have to be like Coachella related, and I was just posting them out like with my opinion because again,
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot to do. So right now, I kind of stopped because the Coachella documentary dropped. And have you got a chance to look at that one?
Oh yeah, I watched that. It was such a confusing sensation, man. Like I'm like so happy and so inspired by the rich history, but I'm like, but we can't go. I'm like so sad watching it, but I'm so proud.
It was yeah, it was definitely emotional. Like everything,
Yeah.
there were certain times just like, man, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
How which Coachellas have you gone to?
Believe it or not, I actually have not gone to a Coachella, dude. I was
Oh,
gonna go
you
to my first
haven't?
Coachella this year. No, yeah. So I went. So I got involved in festivals through EDM. So like for a while, I only went to EDM events. And then when I started branching out, was around the same time I got my current job. And Coachella always happens like a couple weeks before Sun God. It was just not an option to take like 5 days off to be
Yeah,
the Sun God Festival. Um, I had a little bit of flexibility this year, so I was going to send it. I had a room, a ticket, like locked in. Then like literally like the next day, it was postponed. Um, so yeah, I actually have not gone, dude.
damn.
Yeah,
It's definitely something you got to do whenever they bring it back.
yeah,
Um,
hoping
I
to.
I know. I don't know. Like it's gone super like I guess more into the influencer side because everybody just goes there to take pictures and stuff. But it's still fun on the surface. One thing I did notice in the documentary, they didn't mention anything about influencers at all. Like
Yeah,
they
that was
strict
interesting too. Yeah,
I because they did focus on the music and at the end how the music like how they're adapting to new sounds and international crowds and stuff. But they didn't mention how the influencers have made the festival a lot bigger too because all these like big channels with millions of followers are posting about Coachella. And last year, since I make a lot of Coachella videos, I was seeing like what other people are posting, getting ready for Coachella videos. They'll get like millions of views on getting ready to Coachella, then their Coachella vlog, and then their post Coachella vlog. They gather like 10 million views just on that. Like, and that's every
tons
single
of awareness.
influencer.
Yeah,
So
tons of awareness.
a
Yeah,
lot. I understand why Coachella does it because it's just so much. They get so much free marketing from these videos and these big channels. So um,
yeah.
I don't know. It's a pretty cool festival. It has music for everyone. You know, it's like seven different stages.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a huge like I love Calvin Harris, and that was a huge reason why I wanted to go because like right before they announced the lineup, I'm not even kidding. Like days before, I said to my friends, "Man, I wish Calvin Harris did music festivals still." Like I literally said those words, and then like 2 days later, boom, Calvin Harris. I was like, "What?" So I'm gonna head over, but we'll see.
Yeah, he was a headliner in 2016, and then now he's in the sub headliner. Like that was pretty shocking to see.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I mean, like EDM, it had a huge moment, right? Now it's like music just changes. It's dynamic. People like some genres just get the spotlight during a certain time, and then it just shifts. That's the nature of
Yeah,
trends. I feel
cul-
like
cul- culture shifts for sure. Is that EDM
totally.
your favorite
Yeah, I
genre?
mean, I listen primarily to EDM, but I just love music. So like, I love festivals with multiple genres. Like
Yeah,
I'm fine. Like EDM has a special place in my heart. I think it has the best production, but I'm 27, turning 28. I've gone to like 6 EDCs. Like at a certain point, the wubs start really melding together. So I enjoy other genres of music, but primarily EDM.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I I got into it, but I know most just like mainstream stuff. I really haven't dove deep into like low
Yeah.
key artists and stuff. So maybe you can recommend me some stuff to listen to.
Yeah, man. I'll shoot.
But
I'll shoot some stuff over.
because I've been interested ever since like finding a festival community like you guys and Aid and everybody. Like before, I was just making videos on my own. I didn't even know like what other people were making. So
That actually makes me feel better, man, because I've never even talked to them outside of that group. So there's this feeling of like, do they all know each other? Like, is there a group text? and I might just add it on this thing. So it makes me feel a little better because like I barely know them.
Oh, I don't know them either. I had a podcast with Aid back in like I don't remember if it was October, September, but the reason is because I looked up like music festival tips, and I was like, let me see who else is making content because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's more people out there, but we don't really go out of our way to look for them. So I think that's how I found your channel too, the Beat Stop,
Oh, dope.
because
Very
I
cool.
was looking up like festival stuff, and I'm subscribed to your channel.
Thank you, man.
So I feel like I've commented on your channel before. I don't remember what video, but
I,
maybe.
I I think you have. You know what? Maybe it was like I gave like headliner predictions for Coachella like in June
Oh, maybe it was.
about that. Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like not right at all.
No, it's we're just guessing on rumors, you know.
Yeah,
Um, or did you make that video like who's left to headline
that's
Coachella?
the one. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I did see that one. That was your video,
yeah. So
yeah.
like I was like for sure Rihanna. I mean, like I thought there was a very high probability that Rihanna would be up there. I forgot who else. Oh, BTS.
Oh yeah,
Like I was like that would be historical for BTS because they're huge,
dude.
dude. Like
They're
they
the
are
is the biggest in
huge.
the world, biggest in the world.
Yes. You know, they canceled, so they released a new album as the virus was breaking out. And I heard they canceled their tour, which was supposed to open with a 3-day stadium show. So they had a stadium in Seoul in South Korea for 3 days. Like they sold out 3 stadiums. Like, what the heck? I don't even think an American artist can do that, dude. A stadium 3 times?
That's
That is
crazy.
insane. Yeah. So I was like, BTS, I feel like would be a great way to go. You know, like they had Blackpink. I think it was last year. It's very well
Yeah.
received. It's historical in the music world as well. So I was like, you know, I just get BTS. They're huge,
Is
huge.
yeah, I think for the next Coachella they might bring them just because they're so popular. I think maybe the only thing that's holding them back is either they're charging too much money,
Yeah,
or maybe they don't want that many like younger demographic coming to the festival.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
Coachella's open to all ages. So last year, I got to see Blackpink. So there was a lot of kids at Blackpink, like with their parents, like a lot of
Oh
like
my gosh!
12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, like
Wow.
with their
Yeah,
parents.
that's true. Yeah,
So I would think like they don't. Although it's open to all festivals, they definitely want an older crowd because they spend more money and buying drinks and stuff. So I don't know. Unless or BTS is probably charging too much money, but it just makes too much sense to have the biggest artist play one of the biggest festivals. And I like that
yeah.
Rihanna prediction because she's never came to Coachella either. It's been so long and she's never come.
She hasn't released music in a while, and that means she's gonna release music soon, supposedly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I was like, Rihanna would be great. Like people want Rihanna to perform. But you know, it was Travis Scott, Frank Ocean, and Rage Against the Machine. I thought the lineup this year was interesting. I thought it was different. Um, but I figured, you know, like that's kind of the nature of how they curate the lineups. They want to bring different stuff. They don't want to just keep bringing like the next pop star, right? They did Beyonce, then Ariana Grande. I was like, maybe that's a reason to not bring Rihanna. He's like, I don't
that's
know if they
true.
want like 3 back-to-back like huge pop singers, but I don't know, man. Like talent creation is an interesting thing. Like it really comes down to the creative of the talent buyer, and it's like
Yeah.
so subjective. Like it depends.
This year's lineup was super balanced. Like it had enough EDM artists,
Mhm.
rappers, and then like some pop international stars. Because I was doing research on some of the artists. Like I didn't know this artist before, but this girl named Anita. It's like
Okay,
a
I'm not familiar.
yeah, it's some Brazilian like artist, and like she's huge in Brazil. Like she's got songs with Snoop Dogg. Like
Oh
she's
wow.
yeah, she's like a big deal. She was coming from over there, and then I guess the same group who runs Blackpink, they're the first group that they had is called Big Bang. So it was
Okay.
like one of the original like I guess boy band K-pop artists. So it was like they're reuniting. I guess they broke up and they're reuniting, coming back
Oh
to Coachella.
wow.
So um,
Interesting.
they're like I guess a watered down BTS. Like, but the quality and the level is like it's like up there with them. I guess I don't know their music, but just the research that I was doing, I was like, oh, that sounds pretty interesting. Artists from different places, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait.
Yeah. Seriously. Like we'll see, man. Like I feel like Don't get your hopes up for anything right now. Everything's still in flux.
I, I really hope we find some answers to this crisis. Kind of, I know the health. They're saying maybe if they find the vaccine and all that, they still have to mass produce it. Like it's gonna take a long time to do that. So,
Yeah, I know, man. Don't remind me.
what do you guys do over there for fun now that you guys are just stuck in your apartment? Do you guys
Oh
go out?
god, what was that?
You guys go out to the stores or anything?
Barely. I mean, just like when we need food is the main thing. Um, let's see. Like I said, I live with three other people. We've got a decent sized house. Like it's good for having people over. Like whenever we have friends in town, like we're always like pre gaming at this house pretty much. So it's good. We'll on the weekends we'll just drink. We'll tune into whatever is streaming that weekend. Um, I've been FaceTiming like tons of people. Like I've gotten closer to a lot of people, weirdly enough, from all this. Because it's like I want to connect with somebody and I can't do it in person. I'm just gonna FaceTime you, dude. I don't care if you look like crap. I'm just gonna FaceTime you. Better answer. So weirdly enough, I've been getting closer to some people, creating content and just like maintaining perspective, man. It's like it's not a bad gig if your worst problem is that you're bored at home.
That's
You know what
true.
I mean? It's like there's worse ways to be right now.
Yeah, we got to take a
Um,
step back. That's definitely true.
Seriously, dude. So I mean, I'm making do the same way everyone else is. I'm on my phone a lot, trying to just trying to keep creating things, and just waiting this out.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, that pretty much wraps up our conversation today.
An
So
hour, yeah, that's
that, that
awesome, man. I had a lot of fun.
that was pretty fast, actually.
Yeah,
I just got a notification that was an hour. I was like, God damn! I was just talking.
yeah, seriously, that's a good sign, dude. Thank you
Where
for
where
having me.
where where could people find your channel, your social medias, and
Yeah,
all that?
yeah. So my YouTube channel is youtube.com/the beat stop. And then the Beat Stop TV on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So go ahead, follow, subscribe, and stay updated with the latest.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll put all the links in the description on the YouTube channel, and then I'm probably gonna post this right away. So maybe like in an hour, I'll be on the YouTube, and then
I'm
on
down.
I usually post on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So
Oh, right on. Just shoot me a text once it's up, man. I'm happy to share it.
okay, for sure. And thank you for coming on. And hopefully once it's done, maybe we could do a podcast in person because I have conversations with like mics and everything, but right now we can't.
I'd love to, man. Like I thought we connected. I'm looking forward to keeping in touch. So just
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. And then we got
let
the
me know.
numbers, so we're good. Okay. Well,
Right
thank
on.
you for coming on.
Thank you.